voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business with your hosts, Chris Nanolini and Mick Michaels. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmick Voice. This is Season 3, Episode 16. I am here with my co-host, Chris Nanolini.
Hello, hello, hello.
And I am Mick Michaels. Welcome back, everyone, to another show. Chris, my good man, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, my man. How are you, brother?
I am fantastic. I say, how are you this evening, but people may be listening to this when it releases in the morning. But that's when we do the show. That's right. So it's kind of like that thing, you know, like when it's dark outside at 4:30 in the afternoon now, it's evening. The world is coming to a quick end. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
So in our world, not only is it nighttime, we're also behind.
Yeah, it's nighttime, we're behind. We had a change of time. It's just crazy. It's just a world. I mean, that's what happens when you're kind of floating around in space, galaxy to galaxy. We're in some kind of wormhole, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. We're in another multiverse.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
We're in the Cosmic verse.
That's right, the Cosmic verse, absolutely.
And there are no rules here, so we can make it up as we go along. Pretty much like we've been doing all 3 seasons.
I was going to say, as we have been doing.
Yeah, we've become very good at it. It's just an editing trick, really. You know, the goal is you have a good intro and a good outro, and everything in between is BS. They're not even paying attention.
When people don't hear on the episode.
That's right. All the pre-show stuff. Oh, it's recorded somewhere, just not in the edit, so.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh. So anything happening with you? Anything exciting?
No, dude. No, man, not at all. In this timeline, in our timeline, not the timeline that our fans are hearing it, in our timeline, we are closing in on Thanksgiving.
Yes, we are closing in on Thanksgiving. Now, probably when this airs, it'll be getting closer to the Christmas time. But yeah, we're closing in on Turkey Day. Very excited about that. I love to eat.
Me too. I'll normally stop eating around Monday or Tuesday before Thanksgiving, so I'm well prepared by Thursday.
I do that as well. I go into a little bit of a fasting cycle, realizing the date here in our time. Now, this is going to start confusing me. I actually thought we had another week, but then I was reminded that it's next week. It's like, oh boy. But I'm kind of in a fasting mode anyway because we got a show coming up, so you got to look the part the best you can. It makes it easier putting on the tight jeans, and then usually I kind of then let it go. But because of the holiday coming, I'm going to keep it good because this way, because that's a big weekend. That's a big weekend,
Yes,
it is,
sir.
Food,
yes, it is.
And I usually do 2 meals because I got 2 separate families that I got to visit and all that kind of stuff. So, and then there's stuff that carries over the rest of the weekend because you say, to hell with it. I'll start again Monday.
That's right.
And then we just eat lots of turkey, a lot of tryptophan, and a lot of trip to the bathroom. But that's just the way it goes.
And then when you hit that Monday, you realize that, we're only 4 more weeks from Christmas.
That's right. 4 more weeks to Christmas. So I'm pretty excited. This is a good time of the year for me. I got a lot of cool things happening, plus the holidays upon us. So, and this, if anything, we need some holiday spirit here in this world.
That is true.
So
that is true.
Whether you have it or not, and again, in this time zone, in our time zone, our time frame, our galaxy, I already have 1 tree up, and I plan to have another one up probably by the end of the weekend coming so that when Thanksgiving hits, it's already there.
Nice.
So I'm very excited. All right, so here we are. We're going to do another something tonight. I don't know what the hell we're doing, but the topic is, how can an artist really make money? Whoa. How can an artist really make money? Well, Chris, if you have the answer, I'm going to start writing it down and then go do it. What do you think, buddy? What have you learned? What have you learned? I mean, honestly,
absolutely
nothing. Yeah. The funny thing is everybody talks about that, right? There's this opportunity, there's that opportunity, but what we see more often than we like to admit is where artists, on a lot of different levels, aren't really making anything. It becomes very difficult. I mean, with streaming services have pretty much robbed the artist of profits, the way I look at it. Now, again, if you think about it, and I just recently read an article that stated that press releases don't sell albums, they don't sell singles, and they don't get people to go buy. Because a lot of people now pay for a streaming service. Now, I don't know what that looks like in terms of cost, But like whatever Spotify costs, you're going to stream that stuff for free anyway. So why would you buy the album, especially when you're taking it on the go with you? Nobody's carrying around a Walkman or a CD man or, whatever, a boombox or anything. Everything's kind of portable. It's all on your phone, or it's connected to an app with Wi-Fi or whatever else the other thing is when you're not on Wi-Fi, whatever that is, 3G, 5G, 6G, 10G, dead G, I don't know, G-Man, G-Money, PG-13, you know what I mean? All that stuff. So, and I thought that to be interesting. It's like, why then would somebody buy an album? Now, I know some people that have Amazon accounts and they pay some things and they do the Prime and all. They can download any music they want for free in this membership that they have. So they never have to buy an album because it's always there for them, as long as, of course, they're paying their membership. And people that are really into music, or you do a lot of shopping on Amazon and use Prime, well, you get that music as a freebie. So if you look at it, those big online box stores or whatever have used or leveraged the artist's creation, their music, in this sense, as a perk for being a member. So that's why you're getting streaming residuals that are 0.003 or 9 or something like that. It depends on where they're being streamed and when they're being streamed and by who they're being streamed. So sometimes, like, one song could have different profits, so to speak. And, and from whatever those cents are, then they're cut down even further as they go down. So, you're talking, you got to get into the, maybe even billions, which I think is almost practically, for an indie in the trench band, is practically impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, again, I read another article just recently that unless you have the financial backing, and what these guys do, and I mean, I guess this is the dirty little secret, that you'll see bands that sometimes you're surprised at, like, how are they getting those streams? Like, the song just came out, and like within 2 days, they have this incredible number of streams. Now, again, I'm not going to use any particular numbers, and I'm not going to mention any particular bands or artists or anything, but you're like, what's the story here? But the dirty little secret is, unfortunately, that a lot of people are paying to get those numbers. They pay to get it up front, and then that doesn't mean that they streamed it the whole song. They could have listened to 8 seconds of it. They could have listened to 5 seconds of it. They could have turned it on, walked away, and, somebody has it in a loop or whatever the case may be. But just like when you go to your grocery store and you have your different tiers, your big brand names pay for that shelf space. And they figured out a way to do the same thing with music, especially now that it's become a third-party type of distribution, right? So that the regular artist can have the same, technically, distribution as the major artist, just without the brand recognition. You just got to pay. And if you got enough of a juggernaut of a finance behind you, I guess you can get those numbers to kind of juice up relatively quickly. Same with videos going viral, music videos going viral. I could see like a Crazy Cat video, or someone does some crazy feat of strength or something like that. Hey, that's personal interest. But some videos, music videos, it's not like they're curing cancer or saving the world or blasting off into Mars with William Shatner.
Right.
All of a sudden, they have these millions and millions of, for a band that you're like, well, who are these people? I'm not sure. The dirty little secret is a lot of people are paying. They're paying for those services up front.
Yeah.
We have enough. Yep. We have enough people, and since there's not a policing of the internet like you would think there would be, but how could they, right? As it being worldwide. There's dummy accounts. There's, one person, one corporation, one whatever. They could have thousands and thousands on thousands of accounts. And they have it all set up that it just kind of like you click a button and they all kind of click on it or whatever the case may be. That's a little above my pay grade, a lot above, actually, based on what my sales are in the streaming services. But that's part of that. So I wanted to lay that out there first. But I also wanted to say that there are opportunities for artists, for bands, to make money. Now, when people say make money, they're thinking, well, they're going to make a living. Making money and making a living are two different things, right? Mm-hmm. So you could be making money to just help fund whatever it is you're doing. but you can't live off of that. And most of us don't live off of that, right? We're regular people with regular lives, we have regular jobs, and we do this out of a passion. And if you've been in it for more than 10 years, you're probably doing it because it's part of you, and you're not doing it because of the return of finances, because they may be non-existent.
Yeah.
Right? So, but there are opportunities that people can do things to fund other projects and to keep them going. It's kind of like they used to say, you would do something enough to fund your hobby or fund your drinking budget or whatever else it is that you do. And it's the same kind of thing. You just have to get smart about it. And I'm going to give the floor now to Chris, and he's going to tell you how smart he is about it. Take it away, Chris.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm smart about it. I am a firm believer I never got into it for money. Like I obviously when I was a kid, I wanted to be a huge rock star. But it really was, for me, it wasn't about the money. So I was always a firm believer in, if you work hard and you're just honest, the money will come. Now, what I mean by that is try not to take things on that are out of the realm, or that you see that, you would lose a ton of money. Be happy for the things that the chances that you're given, in hopes that, the money will come, whether it's in merch or whether it's in, door money, or, I always said that, to me, being in a band, no matter what we did, whether we traveled, how much money we spent, whatever the case may be, paying out of pocket, it was always worth it for me anyway, because I was always big on the experience, right? Like I just wanted to go somewhere and perform for people and to share my music. So money was never really an object, or, I didn't really put money first. But on that note, since we are talking about musicians and artists trying to make money, do smart things, man. Like, make smart decisions. If you're traveling, maybe you can't, if you're on the level that, say, me and Mick are, but you're a traveling band, you go from place to place, maybe, and you can't negotiate a hotel room. I don't know, maybe everybody chip in for an Airbnb, because, their Airbnbs are pretty reasonable. And if you got 4 or 5 people in the band, if someone's merch or whatever, or roadies to text, whatever, if you could all chip in a little bit, Airbnbs work too. And any money you make from that show previously, you put back into it, maybe pay for the Airbnb. It's almost like gambling, right? Like, if you can go to a slot machine and sit and play, if you throw $20 in on a quarter slot machine, you may not make money, but if you could sit there and play on that $20 for 45 minutes, for an hour, and it just keeps going, you lose some, you gain some back, you lose some, and at the end of the day, you spent all this time, but you only lost $20, or maybe you made $20, or maybe you just broke even. To me, I wanted to do smart things. And you and I had spoken about making smart decisions very early in the Cosmic Voice. For example, if you're selling tickets for a show, you sell 2 for the price of 1, and then you just try to cover the other one. And the object of that is, if you're playing a place and you bring a good amount of people because you made these smart decisions, then maybe you get a good relationship with the club and or promoter, and then you can negotiate a price the next time you're around, or even just something, just so you're not losing money. But in this day and age, like you were saying, Mick, it's hard. And unfortunately, artists, I don't really know how much money artists are making money off their music, to be honest. That's why artists have kind of always gone outside of the realm of music, whether it's cologne or perfumes or clothing lines or, sponsorships or, whatever the case may be. I don't know the inner workings of Bandcamp. And I know that Bandcamp is for more of guys like our level in the artists. Now, I do know that artists can make a little bit of money from Bandcamp. They do those Bandcamp Fridays where if you pay $1 for the song, the whole dollar goes to the artist and not some of it. And I'm a music buyer, so I really try to buy from Bandcamp if I can, because it goes right to that artist, especially, when they do those special deals once in a while. But making money, man, I mean, that, you can't go into it going, oh, we're going to make money, because you're going to lose money. It's just, it is how it is. It's like you and I spoke about this many episodes ago. A band is a business, and a business is going to lose money. A business is going to make money. And if you can survive with breaking even, and still being able to do your passion, then I think that's a great thing. But if you go into it going, I want to make money, you're probably already starting off on the wrong foot. Now, that's my personal opinion, but in all the years that I've been doing this, I've never chased the money. I've always just chased the experience. And at times, the money has come here and there. I mean, not often, you know what I mean? I just believed in just making smart decisions where you're not losing money, or at least if you're going to lose money, try not to lose your shirt.
Right.
This is Stephen Piercy from Rat, the Rat Bastard. You're listening to the Cosmick Voice.
I agree with you. Like, when I got into this as a kid, the only problem with money was I needed to get equipment. And I realized that it took money to get equipment. But we came up with weird ways of doing that, too. Borrowed something, stole something, or, we secretly acquired something. It was kind of stuff like, or you just dealt with the crap that you got, and, because you just networked with somebody, you got pieces here or that, or, it just was like, again, but you never really thought about, it was, I honestly remember most of my teens, it was just about playing. I had the same aspirations and beliefs that, I was going to be a rock star, and everything would just kind of happen as it would when you became a rock star. And like we talked about this in another episode, I didn't know what that meant, what it not even really, if you're looking back at it, what it took to be that or to make it to that. It was just a matter of, we just got to keep playing. We just keep playing. We play shows, we write songs, we play shows, we write songs. Like I even told you at one point, early on, we didn't even think about recording. We just found that we figured that we were going to play someplace. Somebody was going to hear us and go, yeah, you guys are it. Here's the contract. And then the rest would just all fall. So we didn't even worry about that in the beginning. And then over time, it was, okay, now we got to record, build up that. After, a number of years, you start realizing, wow, it's costing me a lot to be a musician. But then by then, you're already kind of like hooked. It's like hook, line, and sinker at that point, and you have to make a decision. When you make the decision to go from a band or an artist who's performing or rehearsing in their basement or garage, in our day, that's kind of like the garage band type of idea, and you moved up to that next level, well, it took a commitment. And then you had to start, like you said, you had to start thinking a little differently. Wow, now I got to draw. Now, I'm not just playing a gig right down the street or, where I could get a quick ride to the next town. Now I'm playing another state. How am I going to get there? I got tolls and I got guests. And again, when you're a young kid, you're not even thinking about that. You're just thinking, let's book that show. And all right, well, how are we getting there? Because we got to bring our equipment, and none of us have a truck, and two of us don't drive, and one shouldn't be driving, and and that kind of thing. And how are we getting home? And I remember there was guys that would take their equipment on the trolley. They'd have a guitar in one hand, and an amp in another, and a PV on the other hand, Bandit, and they're sitting in the trolley to go into the gig, you know what I mean? So then they're walking, even in this day and age, I remember playing down Philly, and if you've been in Philadelphia, parking's like obsolete, and I remember finding a parking spot and walking 6 blocks with a guitar and a backpack of stuff and a rack on my other hand, and I had to stop like every, just to take a breather, and then, but, just for that parking spot so I didn't have to pay for something. So, you start making decisions that go, well, how are we going to achieve this? I'm just kind of giving some backstory. And that's when your mind starts thinking other ways and in other terms beyond the music. Now, again, back then, there wasn't these streaming services, so everything was tangible. You had to record, you had to get some kind of CD, because you needed, that's how you sold stuff. Whether you did consignment in stores, or you did some mail-in, mail-away thing, or you did them at the shows. Back then we would have, and just same with you guys, you would have tapes, cassettes, and then when CDs were more readily available in the 90s, you'd have them at record stores, and you'd have them in music stores, and some other odd places that where you think, wherever you could get them. There's a little rack of them, just so people could see them. But I do believe that there are ways that bands can generate some finances so that it's not constantly dipping into the pocket. Do you like putting your hand in your pocket and only feeling your leg? Do you, Mr. Natalini?
I don't know.
I mean, you know what I mean? You come up with certain things. And then the beauty of the new industry, and this is yet another new industry, but the new industry the last 10 years or more is that a lot of it's in the artist's hands. And we've talked about this before. The artist has to be multifaceted, wear a lot of different hats. And that creativity, not only in the music, in the art that you do, but it has to be involved in, you got to get creative in how you're going to generate promotions and marketing, advertising, and how that then boils down to the turnover to some form of sales, whether it's t-shirts and other merches like, you know, like pins and patches and hats. And, you know, nowadays you can get everything. Right, you can even get baby clothes with your merch. And you guys got G-strings, and I think you got some baby onesies with some stuff on it. You know, and you can practically get anything now. It's you know, and it's all print on demand. You know, so there's, you know, you can have a nice online presence if you choose to, or you spend some money up front, and you have as long as you can feel that you're making somewhat of a profit. And you know, the average. If you're making somewhere between, and you know, everybody wants to make 100% profit. Well, that's really difficult to do, right? Because if you're going to try to do that, you're going to price yourself right out so that you're wondering, why isn't anything selling? Then all of a sudden you're forced to just give it away because you've been running the same T-shirt for 12 years, right? Right. You know that story. You've seen that band. You still got that T-shirt? Yeah, I got 3 boxes of them in the van. You need one? All sizes. All sizes. You know?
You are listening to The Cosmic Voice with your hosts, Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels.
And I'm going to broaden the numbers a little bit because some things you can make a little bit more on. But a 10 to 30% markup that you're making, that's a pretty good profit if you think about it. You know what I mean? It's not, they're not big numbers, but you're getting your initial investment back and something on top. And then you can reinvest that money. Now it's in a cycle. Once you get it started, the goal is to build a little bit more, maybe find a better deal, take advantage of specials and codes. And listen, when I've gotten, you know, CDs or cassettes or whatever manufactured, you know, reproduced shirts and stuff, I always immediately, as soon as I start working out the deal, I go, listen, do you have any deals that we can take advantage of? Do you have any discounts right now? Because some of them do. Sometimes you get a first-time buyer from that company. You'll get 10% off. You get 20% off, whatever. I've used my ASCAP membership to get discounts. Sometimes it's 5%. Sometimes it's 10%. You wait for a sale. You know, you can call them up, hey, you guys have any promotions that you're running, or do you know of any coming up? Most of these guys, they're just regular people. They go, yeah, hey, listen, we got something coming up. You know, most of these guys don't work. It's not even a 50-50 toss-up anymore. Most of them don't get commissions because they're not salesmen like the old days. Especially now since everything's self-served online, you know, you could go through everything yourself. They're just there to give you a little customer support and put you in the right direction. Their pay is their pay. They're not getting an extra, you know, $500 because, you know, Chris Natalini's band just bought 1,000 CDs instead of 700. You know what I mean? And you know he did that. So but once you get that money going, it just, if you keep it circulating properly, that could build, and you could use it to fund the next set of projects.
Yeah, 100%. Also, too, like you were saying about deals, you know, one thing that I've always done, especially in the past 10 years with, you know, with the guys with Seeds of Perdition, we've always kind of bartered without bartering. I know that doesn't make sense, but I'll give you an example. Like, we first did our recording, we went to the studio, and we had such a great time at that studio. We sent a ton of other bands there. And the next time we went back, we got a great deal on the next recording. Yeah. Same thing with the guys that did our shirts. Same thing. You know, we bought a bunch of shirts. They came out great. We started sending a bunch of people. My next round of shirts, he was like, I'll give you a deal. So, you know, there's always that too. You could, you know, and again, it wasn't, we didn't go into it. It just kind of happened. But my point is, if you're forward thinking and you're smart about it, you can eventually use those opportunities to save a little money if you play your cards correctly. And listen, we, you know, with the shirt guy and the studio, we gave them a ton of business, a ton. Perfect example. our video guy, the guy that did our 2 videos, I mean, they came out amazing, and he got a little business from us. So hopefully on the 3rd one, we'll be able to do a little better business on the money side. And that's how it happens, man. When when you get these independent guys or guys that also have this business that are just kind of up and coming, or, they only, maybe they have daytime jobs and shirt making or studios or videography is just their passion. But if you can help them fund that passion, then they'll turn around and help you out too when the time comes. And I've always been one for that too. I think it's definitely something you should think about when you're making decisions.
Absolutely, it's good business practice, right? It's creating an environment where people want to work with you as you want to work with them, right? And then usually the rule of thumb is the more you do, the better the deal gets. Right? Yes. It's like buying in larger quantities. So it's the same thing. Like repeat business is big, and it's always been customary, especially in the entrepreneurial mom and pop type of level of business, is that you treat regular customers very well because it's a return business. If you frequent a restaurant quite often, they start knowing who you are. You get a little extra this, you get a little extra that, they'll throw in this. I mean, that's just customary. They do it at bars, it's just normal stuff. It really is. It's normal stuff. You may get 2 napkins instead of 1 napkin in the bag. You know what I mean? It's those things. But you're absolutely right. That's just good business practice. That's also good mannerisms. Like, you don't want to come in and be belligerent to people. They're not going to want to work with you. So here's a quick example. If you purchased a car and you're starting to make payments on it, and those payments are, say, spread out over 5 years, okay? So let's just say the payment is, just for the sake of, is like $200 a month. Well, if you refinance at one point and pay that thing off early, you just made money. That's $200 that doesn't go out of your bank account into someone else's and stays in yours, and it starts to make interest. Now, I realize interest rates today in your basic bank account isn't fantastic. It's not really fantastic anywhere, but it's better than taking it out and getting nothing and giving it to somebody else. So immediately you're making money. It's the same way with bands. Now, you had brought up the fact that if you get sponsorships or endorsements, well, here's the thing. In most cases today, no one gets free stuff. They eliminated a lot, unless you are the top of the food chain. You are Slash. You are, Eric Clapton. You're whoever. You know what I'm saying? Top shelf guys. And even some of those top shelf guys, depending on what they get a bigger discount, right? But your regular people, this is how they figured out, well, I can get more people to start buying my stuff. A lot of the boutique places do this as well. They give you a B discount. Maybe you get 40% off, or you get a C discount, or whatever, right? Well, listen, okay, so if you buy a pack of strings, I'm just going to throw out a number, that's $10, but you get an endorsement with them, but you still have to buy it, but now the strings cost you $7, but if you buy them in sets of 12, now they're costing you $6.25. Well, now you save $4. You're saving $4 that you could put together. So, 12 times 4 is 48. That just saves $50. You just saved $50 on a box of strings, right? So now you're putting money back in. And if it's a band fund that's paying that rather than an individual, because now that band fund, there's a plus. You're making money.
Right.
You have money to do something else with. And all you have to do in return is tell people about it. Well, listen, to save some money, why not? If you're playing them anyway, why not save money on it? That's it's and like you said, if you're going to wear the shirts and sell the shirts, why not tell people about the shirts? Other bands, like other people in our position who are looking for the same thing.
Right.
It doesn't hurt your pocket that another band is going in to get T-shirts. I mean, they have to. It's an acceptable piece. Yes, it's competition, but listen, that's healthy competition, because if it helps your pocket later, sure, it helps a local business or whatever the case may be, but that may help you in return. Because not everybody's going to look at it the same way, so you don't know how long that relationship is going to be or whatever. I know a lot of people don't like to recommend, because if something does go sour, then it turns back on them. But listen, like you said, it's a gamble, right? You're in the music business. You're gambling anyway, so why not take a chance and save a little bit?
Yeah.
Now, you had brought up a point about, shows and if you can pre-sell tickets and all. Listen, we talked about this before. I'm not big on paying to play, but I don't have a problem pre-selling tickets. We always pre-sold tickets if you could. That means you guarantee people are coming to see you, because nothing's worse than playing in front of just the sound man. Because I've done it. multiple times. And it's about the worst thing. You just go, you keep turning to the band and go, is this the last song? And you just started, just the first song, you turn and go, is that the last? Are we done? Nope. Sorry, we got another 40 minutes we signed on for. So the point is you're getting people there. Now, if you're putting on your own shows and you could work it out with the club, the venue, hey, we're going to pre-sell some tickets. This way we can start generating the thing. It's an event. Promote it. Do some press on it. Create some buzz around it. If you got tons of shirts, you know, the guy that's been schlocking the same shirt for 10 years and he's doing a show, hey, buy a T-shirt, $15, get a ticket to the show.
Right.
You're starting to move stuff, right? You're starting to move stuff.
Yep.
And it's money, immediate money in your pocket. It's getting people to the show, which may also promote some other sales if they like what they're hearing. That same article that I was talking about a little earlier, about the PR and the press releases not selling albums simply because people with streaming services, they're not going to buy them anyway, right? On the online thing. They also said that statistics are starting to show that giving away free songs are not increasing sales either. Because again, once somebody gets it for free, why would they pay for it? But at the same time, if they already have it, what's the point? But here's my take on it. If the streaming services and Amazon and Walmart and whoever are leveraging the artist's music as a benefit to being part of their club or to pay into their membership, then why don't you use your music the same way to sell merch, to get them to the show? Because once they're at the show, now everything's tangible. Again, even if you have a small merch table, 1 or 2 CDs, even if you're doing them yourself, it doesn't matter. And of course, I've seen them as bad as, you know, guy burned some CDs, took a magic marker, and wrote his band name on it. And I seen him sell them for $3. No artwork, you know, the ones that still say, you know, CDR on it, and they have their own print, not even a white one. Okay, I like to go a little further than that, and I create a little bit more of a package. But if you're going to do that, once you get them to the show, it's all tangible at that point. They see you visually. They hear you. They actually hear you in person. And then there's something that they can put together and then take home with them. A shirt, CD, pin. Even if it's something, like we have some pins and some rubber wristbands that we'll give away. Like if somebody comes up to us, and you know they're not going to buy for whatever reason, maybe the ticket price was too much, or they were charged, or they drank too much and they're not going to buy anything. Though if you hold out long enough, if they drink enough, you could get that T-shirt sold. Anyway, my point is they come up and they tell you you did a great job, or they really enjoyed this. You hand them a wristband. You know, a wristband that costs 14 cents when you buy them in bulks of thousands. In bulk. And here you go, man. They take it home with you and they remember that. And maybe it may push them. Again, it's tangible, but listen, big companies do it as well. They have throwaway promotion, right? The pen, that little squeeze ball, the stress ball, or whatever it is, a pin, a lighter, or a little flashlight, or whatever the case may be. You have to have that because it entices people. And it's also like that extra thing. Like, listen, somebody could spend $50, buy a couple CDs and maybe a T-shirt, and at the end you throw that in. Yeah, okay. Maybe you were only selling it for $1, but to that person that just spent $50, you're throwing in something else that they didn't pay for and or ask for. They're excited as hell. I watch, and I know this sounds, and I'm nobody, but I watch people get excited when you hand them a business card.
Yep.
So it all depends on you don't know where anybody is in their space and how excited or not excited they're going to be about something, but you have to treat everybody like they're gold, because like you said, man, we do this one fan at a time. We are not playing stadiums, and we're not playing arenas. You know, we're not playing even football fields, not even playing in church at this point. You know what I mean? So it's just like we have to take it, and when you get them to the show, it's tangible time. A lot can happen there. A lot can happen. But there's definitely ways of bands to generate revenue to keep going. So it's not always coming out of your pocket. Now, listen, there's going to be times, and you said it too, sometimes it happens. You experience things, right? Each time you do it, it should be getting smarter, making that decision. or you start setting things up. Like I said, everything's negotiable in this business. Everything's negotiable in life, really. Like if you're going on tour and you're going to stay, you're playing someplace, ask that club, does the band get some drinks? Even if it's just water. Do we get soda? You know what I mean? Do we get maybe one comp drink? Is there any food? Can we get something? I've negotiated all that. I've negotiated lodging from the club, whether I slept at the club, they put us up somewhere, they allot it for it, right? Do we get a cut of the door? Do we get a cut of the bar? Are we being paid a flat rate? Do we get all of the door? There's all this different stuff, and I've done all those deals. You just don't know. Everybody does something different. Sometimes even a club itself will do a number of different deals depending on who's coming in.
Yeah.
Because, there are places in this country that I played where I get a cut of the bar. There's places that I played in this country where you can't touch that bar with a 10-foot pole. They'll give you all the door, or they'll give you a cut of the door, or they'll give you a cut of the door and they'll give you free drinks for the night. Now, for me, it doesn't make a difference because I don't drink. And half the time, I don't like drinking the diet soda at a bar because it's the worst tasting thing. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
It's awful.
So I usually bring my own anyway, so I'm usually stocked that way. But my point here is that's still money back in the... And if you're on the road and you're getting a free meal or free drink, that stuff adds up. It's less you got to pull out of your pocket. We're doing a short run in early December in California, a couple shows. I have one meal every day already covered from the deals that I made. It's a simple meal. I mean, listen, I'm not talking we're getting, ribeye steak and all this kind of stuff, but we're getting one meal a day. And depending on how you eat, and listen, I've seen guys that can do $8 a meal days, and I've been with some cats that $50 is the minimum. Depending on what they want, right? So it all depends on your lifestyle, but that's the way I look at it. Hey, guys, listen, we already have this covered. The rest is kind of going to be up to you, but you are guaranteed one meal each day that it's not coming out of anybody's pocket. So it's all those kind of things. So that's, to me, that's money back in the pocket or money that doesn't leave the pocket. So in a sense, I'm ahead of the game. I try to make every show, big or small, an event, and I create packages, merch tick packages. Buy this, buy that, buy this, and a ticket, and be ready for the show. You got your hat, you got the ticket, you got a CD, so you know what we're going to play, you got a shirt, you're ready for the show. And you make it, the Sam Walton idea is, you make it affordable, and more people will buy it. That's Walmart's pretty much their motto, their business model. Even in today's world, their model is still, more for less type of thing. And if you can figure out a way that balances out, that you're still making somewhere between that 10 and 30%. And again, I know I'm talking business numbers, and maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know, but I've seen the model work for what I do. Now, and again, I told you has everything been hit out of the park? Hell no. You know what I mean? I've been left holding the bag and then some. Then when I looked in the bag, I kind of gave it to James and say, here, you hold that bag. You know what I mean? Just don't leave it in the truck. Don't leave that bag in the truck. So, listen, but you live, you learn, you go through it. Like you said, there's part of that experience. But again, you and I have been doing this since the 80s. So there is part of that experience. There's a passion. We're definitely not doing it for the money. That being said, I don't want to lose my shirt, and I don't want to jeopardize me as a person or my family or even the band in that regard, that we're putting everything on the line. You have to kind of weigh things out. Is this worth doing? Is this worth doing for the band? Or is this more of an experience that I can talk about and feel good about? Well, listen, some people do things for the experience. They pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, some people even millions, to experience something that no one else has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah.
If you can do it, you can do it. Nothing wrong with that. But don't be surprised when nothing comes in return otherwise. Like you said, if you're in this to say, I want to make money, well, you're in the wrong business. Doctor, lawyer, undertaker, get them coming and going. You're guaranteed to make something.
It's true, man. It's true that, one thing is for sure. You're not making money off music. It's music, not the music business. You're not making money off your actual song. It's just how it is.
No, you're not how it is. Right. Not as the song itself. You're making money when you play those songs live. Now, again, there are artists. We have to qualify this to saying that there are artists of the lower levels, the medium, and the high levels. They are making some money, and they're doing very well. But those numbers are usually small. That's always that small percentage, not the majority. Now, that could be easily argued and say, well, the majority they're just all over the place. They don't have a model. They don't have the proper promotion. Right. They don't have the proper management. They don't have this. It could be anything, right? But that's not to say that there aren't people who are even doing it on their own that could be doing it correctly. It comes back down to what we talked about early on. It's that definition of what is success to you. And that's a question we've been asked to go back to and talk a little bit more into. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, because it really is subjective. What is success? And success for some bands, and for me at this stage, is that I'm able to keep funding the next project and not have to pull out of my pocket. And I get to experience things in the process, like going on tour, like releasing, like doing this and like doing that. So there's a lot of stuff that you could do. And like you said, your music may not be selling, but if you use the similar model that the streaming services are as a benefit, a fringe benefit, you could throw stuff into the package. Hey, buy this ticket to come see us at the show and get a free download. Get our EP download, get our album download, or get this or that. You know, if you're not using streaming services for your material, and some people aren't, then it is a plus, right? Because they're not getting them anywhere. There's I forget who it was, an artist just recently, well, the Three Tremors. When we played with them in November, they had announced, and they were announcing at every show, that their new album will not be available in any of the streaming services. It will only be available exclusively at their site or at the show. So they cut out that middleman, and if they're gonna make anything, they'll make what they make, and in a sense, maybe they won't sell as many, right? The numbers won't be. I don't know. Maybe they will be, but let's hope they are. But maybe the numbers won't be as high, but their return will be higher than what they would be strictly on the streaming services. Because again, these, you're talking, Ripper Owens, singer for KK's Priest now, was Priest singer. He's been with, bunch of great bands. If he's struggling with the same thing that we are, then what chance in hell does a brand new band coming up have? So you have to get creative. And that means if you have an audience, a dedicated audience, again, we talked about this before, if it's 1,000 or 2 people and you drive them to your site and they buy it, well, you have 100% of your audience that just bought your CD. And the next thing to do is to get them to the show somehow. So leverage that music as a way. Leverage your merchandise as a way. Because once you get them there, like I said, not to sound like a broken record, it becomes tangible. And there's a lot that can happen right there. That you can either create the best memory that they'll ever experience, or unfortunately you can create the worst memory that they've ever experienced. And then you can just chalk that up to, well, I'll do better next time. Right. So there's a lot there. What do you say? Anything else? You got something else you want to add?
No, I think we've covered it all, man.
Well, I don't know if we covered it all. We covered something. I can smell it on me. It's definitely something. But I just say, whatever you have, put it out there. See what happens. Get creative. Don't be afraid to ask. Like Chris said, share what you do, because it may come back and give you positive results. Not only in sales, but it could save you money. You build relationships. We've talked about this before. Business is building relationships. I don't care if it's music, concrete, sanitation, whatever. Okay? But it's about building relationships. If people feel good working with you, you'll move forward. If they don't, you're basically standing still by yourself, being left behind. What do you think, buddy?
I agree, man. 100%. I totally agree.
Okay, if you agree with that, then why don't you check out some of our other shows at www.thecosmicvoice.com. Don't be afraid to step into the cosmic verse. Thanks, everyone, for listening. This is The Cosmic Voice. Be sure to check us out at thecosmicvoice.com. Like and follow us on Facebook at The Cosmic Voice. You can find The Cosmic Voice everywhere you listen to online podcasts, like Deezer, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, and so many more.
Okay, folks, that will do it for another episode of The Cosmic Voice. Mick and I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
You're listening to The Cosmic Voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business.